How are you?
Not bad. How are yourself?
I'm good. A little tired. I
How was your
drove home
vacation?
from
Oh,
Cortez yesterday.
okay.
It's a fairly long drive.
Yeah, I imagine. That's a long drive.
Um, but it took me 12 hours, but that included a half hour traffic jam in Gallup.
Okay.
But I had a great trip.
Yeah?
Colorado, it's got some mountains.
It does. So did you go to Mesa Verde and all that stuff?
Yeah, we went, let's see. We camped one night at Navajo Lake and kind of hung around, went, like to Silverton. But we kind of like were tripping out because there were so many people. So we didn't hang out in town very much anywhere. Passed through Silverton and then went up to Ridgeway State Park
Okay.
and went to the Black Canyon of the Gunnison,
Mm,
which is pretty
love that.
impressive.
Yeah. I used to ride motorcycles and we did a trip out to Montrose one time.
Yeah.
We were riding along the Black Canyon and we got caught in the middle of a cattle drive, right? They were driving like hundreds of cows right down so we were just sitting on our bikes and all these cows were streaming around us.
I had that happen once in Idaho. You just have to stop and let the Mormons herd their cattle.
There are a lot of Mormons up in Idaho?
Yeah.
No.
It turns out, let's see, from Ridgeway, we went down to a camp down near Dolores and
Yeah, I
kind
know
of
where Dolores, yeah.
hung out down there, went to Hovenweep and Mesa Verde. And it's still weird to hear people say, oh, Mesa Verde, up to Mesa Verde.
Heard Mesa Verde. But yeah, I've been to Hovenweep too. That's a cool place.
Yeah.
Cool. So you were gone for quite a while then, I guess, huh?
A week.
Oh, just a week? Okay.
Yeah.
So was it an RV trip or a camping trip or what?
Yeah, so my friend found a 25-foot Airstream down in Albuquerque. So it was actually Placitas just north, and so we attached that to his Suburban and went. Uh-oh, Jenny doesn't want to listen.
Door is being closed.
Right, you noisy people. So we were in a Airstream.
Oh, wow. So you
Wow,
picked it
that's
up, you
fun.
kind of picked it up on the way?
Yeah, so we met in Placitas. I left my car there and we drove the Suburban up. It worked out pretty well. Like, I don't know that I've ever actually done a full, like, trailer camping trip, but I gotta say, I could get spoiled for it. Of course, we're in an Airstream, so, all the RV people are like, boy, that is a sweet RV trailer. I'm like, yeah, it's fantastic.
Nice.
So
Nice.
now, whose was it then?
Just some guy. It was, like I can't remember the website that, it's like Airbnb for RVs.
Oh, it was a rental.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Oh,
interesting.
okay.
So it was $95 a night. He said he found the same trailer up in Denver and it was $200 a night. So he's like, let's just go to Albuquerque, pick this one up and go.
That's cheap. That's cheap for
Yeah,
rent.
that does seem extremely reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was super clean, super nice. You know, a gas stove, a refrigerator, and a freezer.
Nice.
Wow.
We
When
were,
I traveled in the circus, I for 4 months I lived in a 1948 Terry Rambler.
wow. So we
Well,
met
with
a
the
couple of people that collect trailers, and they were like, "Yeah, those new ones are nice. They don't have quite the charm of the '50s." Like, yeah, they have more stuff though.
yeah.
Yep, we used to stay at state parks and stuff because they had showers available. We didn't have a shower, and
So what was this? The circus, you say, or?
Yeah, I traveled when I was 19. I traveled for 4 months with Carson and Barnes, which is a five-ring tent circus, and that was the first time I came to Fort Collins. Is when we did 3 shows out at Hughes Stadium. But I was living in Southern Colorado when we left to join them.
Huh.
I don't
Wow.
know that I've ever met anyone who ran away and joined the circus.
Yeah, that's
Now you have.
Yeah.
And
Having
you were an elephant girl or something, right?
Rode Barbara the elephant. Yep, the owner of the circus, his daughter's name was Barbara, and we had 40 elephants that traveled in the show with us, as well as all kinds of other animals.
40, that's a lot.
There was a lot of elephants. Yep, most of them were younger ones, but we had 2 older ones. But they helped. I mean, they did everything in the circus. They put up the big top. They performed. They did rides in the midway, and then helped tear down.
Wow.
So.
That's a lot of shoveling.
Yep, that was usually the big excitement when we go into a town and they have like the circus parade going down main streets and stuff. And they'd have a guy with a shovel behind the elephants picking up these elephant poops. Actually, for my 20th birthday, I got one of them in like a 5-pound coffee can.
Oh, really? Wow.
Somebody gave me a poop for my birthday.
So how was the treatment of the elephants in the circus? I mean,
They ate pretty well. They did good.
so
When I was with them, I was back in the 70s. Barbara the elephant, who I used to ride, ended up at the elephant sanctuary, like 40 miles outside of Nashville. And I think when they got her, she was really underweight. By that time, she was 75 years old, and she ended up passing away at the sanctuary.
Wow.
huh.
She was in one of those Nova series.
Really?
Wow.
Uh-huh. And it was really weird because I was flipping channels and happened to come across that elephant sanctuary story, and I started watching it, and they started talking about Barbara the elephant, and I was just like, I sat there and cried, and I ended up contacting them and, told them my story that, if my car and trailer got stuck in a muddy thing, because like a lot of times we'd leave the night before to go to the next place. And if it rained during the night, they would move the location. And she was my personal tow truck. She pulled me out of a lot of muddy situations.
Huh. Wow.
Anyhow, crazy.
Cool.
That is craziness.
What was your most interesting job, Daryl?
I was a Gandy dancer for a year, so
What's a Gandy dancer?
that's a railroad worker. So
Oh, okay.
I worked in Wyoming on a tie gang and a steel gang and a section gang.
Okay.
I was essentially high all the time, and but pounding spikes and with the spike ball.
And singing work songs.
Yeah, actually not a whole lot of singing going on. It was definitely some labor though, but it was a union job, so.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was actually pretty good money for a 18, 19-year-old, right out of high school. But then my parents convinced me to go to college, so
Nice.
that was college was good. Of course, I was a health inspector for my career, so yeah. I'm actually glad I'm not doing that now with the threats in health people are getting and everything for enforcing.
Yeah, it was really strange driving through Navajo territory because it's obvious that they've just been hammered. Places are closed and signs everywhere. People kind of look at you funny. We didn't really stop anywhere.
Yeah, that's the first time I drove across that reservation when I was going to do a week-long backpack in the Grand Canyon. So we left, I think we stayed in Cortez the night before, and then took off really early morning to drive out to the canyon. But it is the longest, most desolate drive.
Yeah.
And the only thing you see is about every 10 feet, there's beer or liquor bottle in the ditch, right? But it's just amazing, right? That it's crazy, just long and just desolate. It's hard to imagine how people survive there, you know?
Yeah.
They don't. A lot of them don't have running water and stuff. But they've actually, they've taken it seriously. And I actually caught a Anderson Cooper interview with Sean Penn, who actually has done a lot of work with the Navajo Nation, related to COVID. They've actually done reasonably, they've taken it seriously and done reasonably well, considering how out of control it was.
Well, in New Mexico, they suffered a lot. In fact, Gallup, I think, was shut down. They shut down that city for a while, that town.
On our trip back to Albuquerque, we had planned to go to Abiquiu and stay at Ghost Ranch. But on the first, the governor said no out-of-state residents can camp in New Mexico.
Really?
So we stayed in Colorado.
So did you go through Winslow?
I did.
Did you stand on the corner?
I did not. But it's funny how much, that's like a little industry.
It is.
Standing on a corner coffee shop and Peaceful Easy Feelin' store and,
Well, there's a corner where they have a statue, but when I went there, they had a red flatbed red pickup truck parked there and everything, right? And there's Eagles music playing and this is like the middle of the week when there's no one there and stuff, right? So, yeah, it's pretty crazy. But I stopped, it works. It worked. So, he wasn't even, when he wrote that, it wasn't even Winslow. He only put in Winslow because it was actually Flagstaff. But he put in Winslow because it worked better for the song, right?
It rhymed better, yeah.
Yeah. So, oh well. Do you want to start, Michael, as you're welcome back? Did you take an instrument with you on your trip?
I did. I took my guitar. I didn't play very much. Let's see.
Oh, Shane Line's not going to be here tonight. He's got dinner with his son or something. So.
I was scrambling trying to figure out what I'm going to do. So this is Tom Waits.
Nice.
I got a belly full of you and that 11 word stuff. Now I'm gonna go out. Now I'm gonna get tough. Been a line to me. How could you crawl so low with some gin-soaked boy that you
Hey, good job.
You had inspired me because you did Tom Waits one night.
I did do a Tom Waits song one night, yeah. And I encourage you to do edibles and watch that one from the '70s on Austin City Limits at Tom Waits concert. I'm sure it would have been awful without the edibles, but it was the most incredible thing I ever saw.
So when I was in high school, I think that's from like the '70s, right?
It was like '78 or something. I think that one. He's been on a few times, but
Yeah, so he was on Austin City Limits, and at that time they played it in San Diego. They don't do it anymore here. And I'm watching it, and I was living with my aunt and uncle, and my uncle just pitched a fit. We just flipped out. Like, this is horrible. You're rotting your brain. This is leading you astray. Like, it wasn't punk rock. It wasn't, Judas Priest or Van Halen. It was Tom Waits, and it went for days. He was just so, and I'm like, he takes Louis Armstrong's vocal stylings and turns it into, and he's like, I'm not having it. So, Tom Waits, he's near and dear.
yeah, he's a character, all right.
He's a San Diego kid.
Is he really?
Yeah.
All right, Barb. I think you're up. We're gonna go counterclockwise today.
Oh, okay. Well, this is one of my songs, and it's called Emma's Moon. Child sees the world through the eyes of a child, and everything's a wonder, and everything is wild, with wide-eyed fascination. You'll grow up way too soon, but get your growing older when you follow Emma's moon. So make a wish and close your eyes, turn around and face the sky. When the nighttime comes too soon, look around and you will follow Emma's moon. Little hand in your hand, hug around your leg. Bright smile looking up at you, saying everything's okay. With love and trust and guidance, you'll grow up way too soon, but you'll find the right direction when you follow Emma's moon. So make a wish and close your eyes, turn around and face the sky. When the nighttime comes too soon, look around and you will follow Emma's moon. So make a wish and close your eyes, turn around and face the sky. When the nighttime comes too soon, look around and you will follow Emma's moon.
that's a song. That was really nice.
Thank you.
Oh, well done. That was a very good song.
Yeah.
Who's Emma?
Is a daughter of a friend of mine who used to think the moon followed her. And I literally wrote this song, and it was a 10-minute tune.
Wow.
And I think the only one that's ever came that quick.
Nice. Very
Thank
nice.
you.
All right, Daryl, you're up. Looks like we got the double neck back.
Yeah, so you got the double neck. So, yeah. So I'm back up in Winter Park, obviously. So, and I realized when I got up here, I didn't bring that mic that I've been using. So now I'm back to the interface thing, which hopefully will work. But yeah, so I won't be there Saturday because there's 2 more days. Today and tomorrow and Saturday are in the 60s up here. And then all next week, the highs are in the 40s or low 50s. So, and my guess is it won't be in the 60s up here again until April,
Right.
at this point. So,
Yeah, they're calling for snow up there on Sunday.
yeah.
So like the elk, you're moving down range.
Yes, I will be moving downrange. I still come up here. I bought even a season pass this year, but they give you the ability to defer to the following year. So I don't know whether I'm comfortable going skiing, with the COVID thing.
Yeah.
But they made that if you haven't used your pass, anytime during the year you can just say I want to just transfer it to the next year. So that might be what I end up doing.
Yeah, that was a debate I was having up there. Like, moving around, I'm like, oh, this isn't bad. But then I thought I could go skiing, and then, there's all those indoor activities that you have to participate in,
Right,
so.
or if you want to take, I like taking the shuttle bus because there's a shuttle stop right across the street. So,
Yeah.
but I don't know whether I want to get on a bus during COVID times, and
Yeah.
just it's so whatever. And then riding the chairlift, who knows how they're going to do that?
Well, from what I've seen, they said they won't, only parties that are together, they'll seat together. So they'll make sure that you're not put on a chair list with strangers that aren't part of your party.
Right.
So that'll slow things down quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is they're apparently not going to do many day tickets. They're going to limit it more to people that have passes and stuff. So that's what they're saying anyway, but I don't, who knows? They're definitely, they're really not going to make any money if they don't have anybody out there. So I don't
That's true.
It's kind of it's a weird dynamic, but everything's weird. Everything is weird these days.
Yeah.
Anyway, this song actually met I haven't done this for months, probably since I was doing those 100-year-old things, and this one actually qualified because it was copyrighted in 1914, but the exact date of origin was unknown, by William Matthew Golden. He was born January 28th, 1878. And supposedly it was written when he was serving an 8-year sentence in the penitentiary, but there's no record of which penitentiary or why he was there. So that's the information I got from Wikipedia. So. To Canaan's land, I'm on my way where the soul never dies. My darkest night will turn to day where the soul of man never dies. No sad farewell, no tear dimmed eyes, where all is love and the soul of man never dies. A rose is blooming there for me, where the soul of man never dies. and I will spend eternity where the soul of man never dies. No sad farewell, there'll be no teardom dies, where all is peace and joy and love, and the soul of man never dies. Where the soul never dies, and the stars to ride the shores of home, where the soul never dies. No sad farewell, no tear dimmed eyes, where all is love, and the soul of man never dies. My life will end in deathless sleep, where the soul never dies, and everlasting joys I'll reap, where the soul of man never dies. No sad farewell, no tear dimmed eyes, where all is love, and the soul of man never dies. On my way to that fair land, where the soul never dies, and there will be no parting hand, where the soul of man never dies. No sad farewell, no tear dimmed eyes, where all is peace and joy and love, where the soul of man never dies, where the soul of man never dies.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that was really nice.
I figured I could pull that one off. It's a 2/4, so you know.
That was a good one.
Yeah, it's good. It's actually really good with two people because there's really a nice. Usually there's two parts going on when there's the chorus. So I do that one with Martin, and we've sort of worked it out. That's one of our better songs we do together. So.
I wonder when we'll be able to get together and actually play music again inside.
I don't know. I figure at this point, I'm sort of used to doing this, and I tell you, everybody's letting their guard down at this point. I think is why there's a huge resurgence. It seems like almost everywhere.
Oh, Wisconsin, they're putting up tent hospitals and stuff, right?
Nebraska is just about full, and I think a lot of it, at least in Colorado, is due to the students coming back.
Right. Yeah. My son goes to CU, and yeah, they started out with in person, and then within a week or so, they were all virtual again. So.
San Diego State has 1,000 cases. They only have like 2,000 people on campus, but it's all the off-campus activities that seem to be the super spreader events.
That's what was happening at CU as well. It was the off-campus partying.
Yeah.
At CSU, I think there's like 360 something cases in one of the dorms. And
wow, in just one dorm.
And so they have everybody in quarantine. And
well, CU was up to over 1,000 cases within a couple of weeks.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it got. Fortunately, my son's not a big socializer partier, so that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but if everybody else is, right, it's not just what you're doing; it's what anybody you interact with has been doing too.
That's
yeah,
true.
What's that?
We're sort of hesitant to get together with him because he goes to see you.
Right.
So, yeah.
I said, look at the White House.
Yeah, look at the White House.
No, look at the White House. I mean, it's just
super spreader.
Yep.
Well,
growing.
and you saw the videos, right? Oh man, what happened there? Where Trump was saying how he's never felt this good in 20 years and stuff like this, but you could tell he was struggling to breathe.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. He's definitely, fortunately, he's just seems like he's putting his foot in his mouth every day, so, which is good as far as I'm concerned, so, But
I don't know if he's still getting the Decadron, the dexamethasone, but boy, once that stuff wears off, it takes about 3 days to get out of your system. So unless he's still getting that every day, he's going to be a crazy man.
Yeah, I mean, today.
And then when he gets off it, he's going to bottom out.
He's already a crazy man naturally, so this makes him a super crazy man. So, yeah, today he was on a roll. I mean, accusing Harris of being she's well beyond a socialist. She's a communist. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, and blaming the spread of the virus on the Gold Star families.
I saw that
exactly.
too.
Yeah, I mean,
Give me a break. How many people do you infect, buddy?
Yeah, and the way he was in the debate, it's nice to see what he's doing seems to be having an effect on polling, and it's not going in his direction. So
yeah, since the debates, it's been trending Biden, and
good. Have him keep it up.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. He's his own worst enemy, right? That's why Biden wasn't out actively campaigning and everything. Just sit back and let Trump be Trump. He'll make your case for you, right? Oh man, but not with his demographic. He's got that core demographic that
Yeah, you'll never shake those guys. Well, how about that thing today, the Whitmer thing up in? I mean, that was just amazing, and she totally, correctly, Trump's stirring everything up. He's providing motivation to all these weirdos.
Well, if you remember during the mass, like when they were storming the Michigan legislature and stuff like that, he was encouraging them and,
right,
so, and that
Michigan or whatever he was saying.
Yeah, and then the whole stand back and stand by crap, and we're not going to promise that there'll be a peaceful transition of power, and it's just it's race baiting.
It's amazing to me that he can actually have over around 40% support. It's just wow. How can that be?
Just look at the history of this country. Just look at it. I mean, within like the civil rights movement and everything else, like those are people. They're only one generation removed from that, right?
Yeah.
That whole demographic has always been there and continues to be there, and they just keep passing their hate and their stuff from generation to generation.
it was interesting, being out on the Western Slope. You drive through these little tiny towns with their Trump banners, and like they're so far removed from any interaction, and yet I'm sure these little towns are terrified that Antifa is going to come marching through. So,
and Antifa's not even a real organization. It's just what's the word I'm looking for?
Ideology.
An ideology. That's exactly what I was looking for. Yes. But when I was coming back, Daryl, on Saturday, when I was coming back from the jam, 470 was clogged with hundreds of vehicles, mostly pickup trucks, flying huge Trump banners.
Like that,
yeah, it was crazy.
Somebody was saying in the Midwest that Trump's going to win by a lawn slide because of all the Trump posters that are out in people's lawns and stuff, But fortunately, that doesn't translate into the vote. But but it's interesting because my neighborhood, there's no signs out yet, so I'm assuming that they're not allowed yet. But my neighbor, my direct next door neighbor, who's on the board, I saw sitting on his porch a Trump Pence sign. So I had to go get a Biden sign. So as soon as he deploys that Trump Pence sign, I'm putting out a Biden Harris sign. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm waiting for him to stick his out first because he obviously knows when you can put him out because he's
right.
on board. So.
Well, it was interesting. We thought we would go to Telluride, so we drove up there, and Telluride was just heaving. I mean, it was like festival population where like I can't do it. But that whole valley is Biden Harris signs. It's like, oh, this is where everyone lives. It's really a marked difference.
Right. Well, the thing is with the polls, right? I mean, nationally, he's got like 10-12% lead, but he's also leading in virtually every swing state. He's leading or he's tied. So Trump would have to flip every single one of those basically, right, in order for him to have a shot. And you just don't. CNN has come out and said, they're projecting already that Biden will get 270 votes. It's a little premature, but
well, they're projecting, but things can change. I mean, they changed last election. Hillary really lost momentum right at the end.
Yeah, but if you look at the numbers and everything, she was never where Biden's at now. She wasn't as consistently.
I hope you're right.
You could thank James Comey for that.
Yes, exactly. That's yeah.
That's true. That's absolutely.
So yeah, so he sort of, it was kind of serendipitous when he got fired by Trump, So yeah, he's just nobody likes Comey. The Democrats don't like him, and the Republicans don't like him. So
yeah, wow. Well,
hopefully they can flip the Senate too. That's a tough.
They have to, and the first thing they've got to do is expand the Supreme Court.
They either will or they won't. But I could easily see them winning the presidency, but not flipping the Senate.
Right.
So that's a tougher hill to climb. So
it is a tougher hill, but they have to do that, and then they have to immediately expand the Supreme Court because that nut job they're putting on there.
It's really wise for them to not answer that question.
I agree.
Because if the Republicans if they continue, if they force what's her name through, then
they will.
Yeah, I say all bets are off. Yeah. So.
Yeah, all bets are off. Exactly. They stole a Supreme Court seat from the Democrats, so they can't expect, they can't complain about it. The Democrats,
Yeah, if the Democrats can make the rules, then they might as well.
But the Democrats have to start fighting. You got to stop taking a knife to a gunfight, right? I mean, Republicans cheat and they're dirty and you cannot just keep allowing them to do this, right? I saw something the other day that said 75% of Americans support abortion, right? So why is 25% of the country dictating, how that's going to go? And why does the Supreme Court, 7 of the 9 or something are Catholics, right? When the population of Catholics in the country is only what? Like, why is everything ultra religious, right? Why does everything have to be? That's crazy. Oh, well. Well, I feel bad with you guys doing all your original tunes and Tom Waits and everything because I'm going to go commercial, so. Ah, man, I've been talking too much. I don't know if I... All right, here we go. City girls just seem to find out early how to open doors with just a smile. A rich old man, and she won't have to worry. She'll dress up all in lace and go in style. But late at night, big old house gets lonely. I guess every form of refuge has its price, and it takes her heart to think her love is only given to a man with hands as cold as ice. So she tells him she must go out for the evening, comfort an old friend who's feeling down. But he knows where she's going as she's leaving. She's headed for the cheating side of town. You can't hide your lying eyes, and your smile is a thin disguise. Thought by now you'd realize there ain't no way to hide your lying eyes. On the other side of town, a boy is waiting, fiery eyes and dreams no one can steal. She drives on through the night anticipating, 'cause he makes her feel the way she used to feel. She rushes to his arms, they fall together. She whispers that it's only for a while. Swears that soon she'll be coming back forever. She pulls away and leaves him with a smile. You can't hide your lying eyes, and your smile is a thin disguise. I thought by now you'd realize ain't no way to hide your lying eyes. She gets up, she pours herself a strong one, and stares out at the stars up in the sky. Another night is gonna be a long one. She draws the shade and hangs her head to cry. She wonders how it ever got this crazy. She thinks about a boy she knew in school. Did she get tired or did she just get lazy? So far gone, she feels just like a fool. But my, oh my, you sure know how to arrange things. You set it up so well, so carefully. Ain't it funny how your new life didn't change things? You're still the same old girl you used to be. You can't hide smile is a thin disguise, but by now you'd realize. God, I lost my spot. There ain't no way to hide your lying eyes. Ain't no way to hide your lying eyes. Funny, you can't hide your lying eyes. Oh, I had a brain fart there. I forgot what chord I was going to.
Those Eagles.
The Eagles.
The Eagles, yes.
They had a lot of hits, you know.
You know, they get a lot of shit for being mainstream or whatever we're going to call them. They were very talented guys, and live they could do their tunes exactly like they were recorded with the harmonies and everything. You know.
Yeah.
It's easy to hate on them, but especially those early records. I mean, all of them. They have tons of really great songs, and I was listening to some of that out there camping, and like the harmonies and everything are just insane.
Well, see, that's the thing, though, right? Anything that's really good is going to get played a lot, and it's going to get overplayed, and people are going to get sick of it and stuff. So that tends to be what happens.
So I have one of those songs.
Oh yeah. An Eagle song or an overplayed song?
An overplayed. Like this is. I don't know that I've ever been around a campground that I haven't heard this. Although I did not play it this week.
Wonderwall?
Yeah. Well, cowboys ain't easy to love. They're harder to hold. Rather give you a song than diamonds or gold. Lone Star belt buckles and old faded Levi's, and each night begins a new day. If you don't understand him and he don't die young, he'll probably just ride away. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys. Don't let them pick guitars and drive them old trucks. Make them be doctors and lawyers and such. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys. 'Cause they never stay home, they're always alone, even with someone they love. Well, cowboys like smoky old bar rooms and chicken and clear mountain mornings. Little warm puppies and children, girls of the night. Them that don't know him won't like him, and them that do sometimes won't know how to take him. He ain't wrong, he's just different, but his pride won't let him do things to make you think he's right. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys. Don't let them pick guitars and I should do like the mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be.
Hey, Michael, check your original sound setting. Does it say turn off original sound?
It does.
Okay.
Is it coming across weird?
At first, when you first started, it was kind of wavering in and out. It got better as the song went on. So.
Yeah, it's been cutting out. It may be that our bandwidth, we've been having some issues. I think everybody's, streaming all kinds of stuff. So
They're all strung out. So,
did you guys see all the? Did you see all the fly memes today on Facebook?
My sister sent me dancing ones and.
Well, my favorite one was this fly smoking a cigarette, and he says, "Yeah, I'll do it, but you got to give me the cash up front."
I didn't see that.
There was one too about if the fly laid eggs in his hair, he had to carry them to term.
That's perfect. Oh, that's perfect. Yeah.
And Biden put out fly swatters and sold out.
35,000 of them they sold out just like that.
Wow.
It says, what did it say? Truth, not flies, I think is what it says in the fly spotters. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, that was just I don't know. Like, you can't help it. So a fly lands on your head, but it was
there for a long time.
2 minutes, over 2 minutes.
Right.
They timed it.
It was very entertaining. So.
Yeah, no one's listening to what he's saying. They're all like, "Oh, there's a fly on his head."
Yep, exactly.
I kept thinking about that Men in Black, the giant cockroach calls everyone meat sack. And I was like, oh, Mike Pence, meat sack.
Oh, man. Oh, well. Yeah. Yep. Well, a little bit of levity in these trying times.
Right.
I guess. Yeah. All right, Barb, you got a happy one for us?
Emma's Moon was my happy song for the night. This one, though, it's kind of, I don't know. This is a subdued song, and I haven't played it in a really long time. I hope I remember all the words, but it's called Wishin'. If wishing made it so. Oh, if wishing made it so, I'd be a swift arrow flying straight to the heart. If wishing made it so, our paths would melt like snow. We could make a brand start. But it's gone, gone, it's all gone. It wasn't nothing but trouble all along. We were never meant to last, it was plain to everyone. But if wishing made it so, we would finally know just how much we miss you. And off riding we would go on an Indian pony. Oh, on that beach we'd go. Now the full moon is rising high, all alone in the midnight sky, and it keeps reminding me how I wanted to be free. But if wishing made it so, I'd be a swift arrow sliding straight to your heart. And if wishing made it so, then you would finally know, oh, just how much I miss you. And if wishing made it so, if wishing made it so, you'll be coming home. Coming home. Where are you? I screwed it up bad. Sorry.
That was good. Whose song is that?
That song.
Subdudes. That's
Oh,
a John
that's
Cena song.
okay.
Yeah. Started off in the wrong key. Anyhow.
I listened to a couple of their tunes after last time.
And
You
you
did?
had heard them before,
Hey.
right?
I hadn't heard of them before. No, I hadn't heard those tunes either.
You
They
haven't
sound kind
heard
of, they're
those
more like,
tunes?
they're kind of like funky, like kind of,
They got a
New
unique
Orleans
sound.
roots.
yeah.
Part of
So,
it's John Magny. I mean, the accordion sound, and then he's got a really unique background vocal thing. You know, he's awesome. He does this once. He sang backups on one Sean Colvin song.
That was that Warren Zevon tune, Tenderness on the Block.
Yeah. Okay.
All the
yeah.
subdudes.
But you can
Yeah.
totally recognize his voice on there. Yeah. So.
Oh yeah.
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 I'm a definite fan of his. He's awesome. So.
Yep. I was just hanging with him yesterday.
wow.
That's cool.
Wow.
So they're still active. Are they still active musically, or what are they doing?
The last tour that they did was in March. The subdudes were playing like in Florida and stuff. And then John, like I said, was having a lot of health issues. And he started a new band with Nick Forrester and Steve Amadei, who does the drumbarine. And they formed a band called the Del Shamans. And so they're doing some stuff. John also had, he had a band called the Young Ancients, the Three Twins. So he does a lot of side projects and stuff.
The Three Twins.
But I don't know if he wants to tour anymore. I think it's taken its toll on him health-wise. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Mhm.
I'm sure if they paid enough money, they always played the New West Fest that always happens in August. They played that every year. And, this was the first year because of COVID, it didn't happen. So I don't know.
I would guess they could spend their summer just playing festivals.
They do. They're usually on tour quite a bit. But,
Yep. Oh well. Who knows when we'll be back to that again, back to normal. I don't even think I can't see Roots Camp even going in June. I just don't like putting people in, those rooms and stuff like that and being inside and
Cafeteria dining. I don't.
cafeteria dining. Yeah, I just don't know. But oh well.
So, I don't think I've done this one before, but I'm always trying to do something that I haven't done before, at least with this group. But but that's why. But a lot of times it's pretty rough, some of this stuff. But this is a Dwight Yoakam song, and it was the last time I went out and saw live music was Dwight Yoakam on March 11th he was at the Mission Ballroom, and that's the only time. Have you ever been there? I mean, it's in North Denver, but it's only been around like 2 years, and it's kind of a new. And I wanted to check it out, so I went and saw Dwight Yoakam. He was awesome. I'm a huge fan of his. So, but yeah, after that, and let's see, what's that guy's name? Somebody played at the Pepsi Center that same night and got in a lot of trouble for playing that late. Because that was right after they'd canceled the NBA, and that was right when they were saying don't go to big events like that. So, but the Mission Ballroom escaped any scrutiny, but there were definitely a few thousand people there for Dwight Yoakam. So. Girl, you taught me how to hurt real bad, cry myself to sleep. Taught me how this town can shatter dreams. Another lesson about a naive fool that came to Babylon. Found out that the pie don't taste so sweet. And it's guitars, Cadillacs, and hillbilly music, and lonely, lonely streets I call home. Guitars, Cadillacs, and hillbilly music, only thing that keep me hanging on. Ain't no glamour in this tinsel land of lost and wasted lives. Painful scars are all that's left of me. Wanna thank you, girl, for teaching me brand new ways to be cruel. Like finding mine, now I guess I'll just leave. And it's guitars and Cadillacs and hillbilly music and lonely, lonely streets I call home. Guitars, Cadillacs, and hillbilly music, only thing that keep me hanging on. Guitars, Cadillacs, and hillbilly music, the only thing keep me hanging on. Well, it's the only thing that keep me hanging on. That was a bad ending. I sort of had it together before that, but anyway. It's a work in progress, as they all are. So.
That's good. I remember when that song first came out.
Yeah, that riff and singing is hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. But once you get it, it's not that bad. But then again, you can't lose it at the end. I should have been able to come out of it. But that's what you call a train wreck. But hey, train wrecks amongst friends, So.
And I hear you, buddy. I really messed my ending up. So
I think every one of us has messed up tonight. So
right. Dwight and Lyle Lovett did a streaming concert about 2 weeks ago.
I remember you sent me the link, and I was gonna, but of course it conflicted with the Nuggets game, so I had to watch the NBA. So.
Priorities, Daryl. Priorities.
Yeah, it was pretty funny because Lyle could hardly get a word in edgewise, because Dwight would start a song and then he'd go, "Let me tell you a story."
Oh yeah.
And he talked about that song. I'd never heard it. He was at like the Palomino in LA with some friends, and there was a blues guy that they knew around town who was really, really drunk, talking about all the crap gigs that he was getting. And they're like, "Oh man, I'm sorry." He's like, "Oh, as long as it's guitars and Cadillacs, I'm fine." Dwight's like, "Holy shit," and writes it down, went home and wrote that song.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
that was probably his biggest hit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It was the one. It was definitely his breakout hit, no doubt about it.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah. He probably talked about Buck Owens a lot when he did the thing, because they were like father and son. I mean,
Right.
they really did some good stuff together.
Yep, the Bakersfield sound.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Dwight has his own satellite radio station on Sirius XM.
Yeah.
It's called the Bakersfield Beat, and it's awesome. I listen to it periodically. Not lately, but I like it. So
It helped me cross the Great American Desert yesterday.
Oh, really? Wow.
It was Dwight and Steve Earle for about 4 hours yesterday.
Wow, that's cool. So Steve Earle, what was it on? Was it on?
Dwight has his channel, and I switched it over, and I just happened to be the Steve Earle radio show.
Oh,
So
really? Because he's on Outlaw Country.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I hear him all the time on Outlaw Country, Steve Earle.
Yeah. And he was doing playing all Mac Davis songs.
Wow.
Just died, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I got a radio show on Sunday from 10 to 12 on KRFC. I've been doing The River of Soul is what it's called for 17 years. And I think there was about 6 weeks in March. From March till about May, we shut the radio station down and just played. We just had like one person come in the morning, one in the afternoon, and the rest was automated music that we plugged into our running order. And I think I was one of the first people they called back to start doing my show again. So anyhow, from 10 to 12, KRFC 88.9 FM.
middle of the day or 10 at night?
It's 10 to 12 in the morning.
Oh, in the morning. Okay.
Yep.
On Saturdays, you say?
Sunday.
Or-
Sunday.
Sunday. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I actually looked up the radio station. I have the link on my in my browser, my bookmark. So I have to remember the time and listen to it. Alrighty. So Michael, you probably remember. You must know Mike Fleming, right? From New West. Yeah. All right. So this is his song. Him and who's the guy? David Jackson. They showed up with Raoul one time at camp. They just hung around for a couple days because they had toured. They had done a few gigs around here, and then they just came around to hang around camp. So they did this song, and then he was kind enough to sit down with me and dictate the lyrics to me. So I thought that was pretty cool. It might be appropriate too with your recent trip. I've seen the miles of pavement fall beneath my wheels and bow before the power of the engine. I've walked the concrete cities with their monoliths of steel and felt their technological religion. I've marveled at the industry and work of modern man and railed against the follies of his ways. But I'm always humbled when I see the snowy peaks of the Colorado Rockies far away. All roads lead back to Colorado, back to where my heart will always be. All roads lead back to Colorado. It's the only place that feels like home to me. I've traveled across the prairies and the velvet rolling plains, onward to the streets of New York City, down the Atlantic seaboard to the hills of Tennessee, and gazed upon the mighty Mississippi. I've driven roads in Texas, friend, that seem to have no end, and watched the desert bloom with winter rain. And I've seen the high Sierras in the glory of the spring, but the Rockies always call me home again. All roads lead back to Colorado, back to where my heart will always be. All roads lead back to Colorado. It's the only place that feels like home to me. All roads lead back to Colorado, back to where my heart will always be. All roads lead back to Colorado. It's the only place that feels like home to me. It's the only place that feels like home to me.
And the lighters come out and everyone sings along. And it's like Rocky Mountain High. Everybody's just ready to go.
It's another song I've been working on too, Rocky Mountain High. I love it when Lewis does that one at camp. He just does
yeah,
gets everybody going. But yeah.
What was that? It was like Dwight and Lyle and Steve Earle all happened about the same time. So I pulled this out and I'm just going to hack my way through it.
Okay. It's funny that someone mentioned Mac Davis because he's been popping up on my YouTube. You know, when you go to YouTube and they suggest things for you, and I've been getting all kinds of Mac Davis stuff, right? He just died though, right? Didn't he?
Right, just this week. And
Yeah.
I didn't realize how many songs, like he wrote In the Ghetto, and he was one of Elvis's late period favorite songwriters.
Yeah.
He also wrote tons of hits for Helen Reddy.
Wow.
Helen Reddy and
Who just died a week ago too.
yeah.
Yeah, wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
Hey, pretty baby, are you ready for me? It's your good rockin' daddy down from Tennessee. Well, I'm just out of Austin, bound for San Antonio, with the radio blasting and the bird dog on. There's a speed trap up ahead south of town, but no local yokel's gonna shut me down. 'Cause me and the boys got the rig unwound, and we come 1,000 miles from a guitar. Well, everybody told me you can't get far with $37 and a jazz guitar. Now I'm smoking in Texas with a hammer down and a rockin' little combo from the guitar. Hey, pretty baby, don't you know it ain't my fault? Love to hear the steel wheels rolling on the asphalt. Wake up in the middle of the night in a truck stop, stumble in a restaurant. Wonder why I don't stop. Gotta keep on rocking while I still can. Got a two-pack hanging in a hotel tab. When the boots hit the boards, I'm a brand new man. With my back to the riser, I'll take my stand. Hey, pretty baby, won't you hold me tight? I'm loading up and rolling out of here tonight. Well, one of these days I'm gonna settle down and I'll take you back with me to the guitar.
Nice job.
Steve would kick my ass, but what the hell?
Oh, that was great.
I'm working on a Steve Earle tune myself too.
He has a few good ones.
He does. I was watching I've watched this. I might have watched it a couple times recently, actually. But the tribute to Townes Van Zandt on Austin City Limits.
Yeah.
You know, because Earl plays his song Fort Worth Blues there, and what's her face? Who's the gal? The tears are just streaming down her face next to him. What's her name? Oh God.
Not Emmy Lou.
No. Oh man, I know who that is. Anyways, it'll come to me. It's on the tip of my tongue. God, I can see it right there. And I know I have. What's that? Barb?
Oh, anything?
I thought you were making a suggestion.
I'm trying to think of who was there.
Yeah, you know who it is. She's another one of that era. She's retired now. Still alive though. Where are we? Yeah, crap. God, my brain is dead today.
Wow.
Yeah, she's doesn't think she got enough attention today, apparently.
Every time your cat does that, my cat's like, "Where's that other kitty?" My cat Lonzo is just like looking all over the place.
Yeah. She's a very vocal cat, incredibly vocal cat. Nancy Griffith.
Oh, yes.
So, yeah. So anyway.
Well, they had the Hispanic Heritage Awards on the other day, and they honored Linda Ronstadt. And during this thing, they had a bunch of different women vocalists, but they had the Mavericks back them up. And apparently, after the show, two of the guys from the Mavericks were walking down the street and they were speaking in Spanish, and they got attacked and were hospitalized. So anyhow,
where was that?
I'm gonna do a, huh?
Where was that?
I think it was in California. I'm not sure exactly where it was held, but anyhow, it's crazy. But I'm gonna do a song that Linda Ronstadt recorded, but Wanda Jackson recorded it first in 1956. And it's Silver Threads and Golden Needles.
So our friend from camp, Ken Gilman, who lives in Albuquerque, and the Ronstadts come there, and not her, but her brother and stuff, they're all musicians. They come and stay with him periodically, like he knows them quite well, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, Michael Gilbert, he's a cellist, and then his father, I guess, is Linda's brother, and he's passed away. But they still have a huge family and stuff. Yeah, she grew up like between like Tucson and Mexico and stuff. They had a big old ranch there.
Yeah.
Songs of My Father, wasn't that her fully Spanish album or something? You know.
Yes, her father.
Like songs of my grandfather, as far as they were really old songs, I think that she did on that album.
She did a great job. Have you seen the documentary she did? Within the Sound of My Voice.
No.
Oh my, it's so good.
Is it on Netflix or something? Or?
I'm sure it is by now. I saw it at the movie theaters when it first came out, and then they showed it on television. I recorded it, so I have it on my DVR. But anyhow, it's really, really well done.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
So there's a second verse that Linda Ronstadt never did because it had to do with God and stuff. But I'm going to do the Wanda Jackson version. Well, I don't want your lonely mansion with your TV in every room. All I want is the love you promised beneath the halo moon. But you should be happy with your money and your name. and drown myself in sorrow while you play your cheap game. Silver threads and golden needles cannot mend this heart of mine, and I dare not drown my sorrow in the warmth of your wine. You can't buy my love for money, 'cause I never was that kind. Silver threads and golden needles cannot mend this heart of mine. I grew up, shoot. Well, I grew up in Laceland Kingdom, where love's a sacred thing. You grew up in silks and satin, where love's a passing game. And no, you never loved me, and I was just a fool to think that God would let you live by the golden rule. Silver threads and golden needles cannot mend this heart of mine, and I dare not drown my sorrow in the warmth of your wine. You can't buy my love for money, 'cause I never was that kind. Silver threads and golden needles cannot mend this heart of mine. Silver threads and golden needles cannot mend this heart of mine.
All right.
So as I was driving around in southwestern Colorado, that song was in my head all week. So it's nice to hear it. Yeah. I don't know why. It's just in my, how things pop up.
An earworm. Grr.
It was exactly that was one of my earworms this week.
Well, I guess I'm psychotic.
Yeah, there you go.
Psychotic or psychic?
Both.
Both. The Carolyn Bullion does that song a lot, Mike. She's one of her favorites. They do it as part of their duo when they're out playing. So
I never knew about that second verse.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, until I don't know, about 4 or 5 years ago, a friend made me a copy of the Wanda Jackson 1956 recording of that song.
It's kind of interesting when you listen to songs, like even songs that I go to learn. And oftentimes when they perform them, they'll leave out verses or they'll mix them up and do them in a different order, even the verses, And it's kind of like, well, which one is the one, which way should it go? I think Daryl, for his third song, is going to read us a poem from his iPad.
No, I was just looking at this because this is one I haven't done for a while. It would be so much better if I ran through this stuff once or twice before I.
It doesn't seem to help me.
Here, but
Right.
Anyway, I haven't done this one in months, but this was one that qualified for the 100-year-old song thing that I was doing for a while, and I did that because I was doing some virtual open mic things with with some other people that were singer-songwriters. So I figured, I'll do 100-year-old songs so I'm relevant with songwriters. You know what I mean? Because that's definitely something that survives 100 years. Must be, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But this song was by an unknown author, and the lyrics were published in 1858 in Beaver's Christian Songster. For several years after the Civil War, it was known as the Libby Prison Hymn because the lyrics were inscribed by a dying Union soldier incarcerated at the Confederate prison in Richmond, Virginia. It had been believed that the dying soldier authored the song to comfort a disabled soldier. But since it had been published several years prior to the Civil War and before the prison even existed, it obviously was not the case. So it stopped being the Libby Prison. The Libby Prison, what was it? Libby Prison Hymn. So the only way I could read that was to grab my iPad.
If I cut out, I apologize. I'm running out of juice on my iPad. So
Okay.
I'm going to last as long as I can.
All right. Well, if you black out, we know why. So. I'm just a poor, wayfaring stranger traveling through this world of woe. But there's no sick, this toil of danger in that bright world to which I go. I'm going there to meet my Father. I'm going there, no more to roam. I'm just a going over Jordan. I'm just a going over home. I know dark clouds will gather round me. I know my way is rough and steep, but beauteous fields lie just before me, where the redeemed their vigils keep. I'm going there to see my mother. I'm going there, no more to roam. I'm just a going over Jordan. I'm just a going over home. I'll soon be free of earthly trial. I know my way is rough and steep, but beauteous field lie just before me, and in her arms my great reward. I'm going there to see my Savior. I'm going there, no more to roam. I'm just a going over Jordan. I'm just a going over home. I'm just a going over Jordan. I'm just a going over home.
Yeah.
It's been a while, so.
Yeah.
That's interesting, the history on that song. I wouldn't have.
Yeah, it is. It's an interesting history, but.
I didn't realize it was that old.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it actually, some Civil War things, I've seen it actually, as actually played as part of the soundtrack, So yeah, it was definitely a pre-Civil War thing, so. Anyway, it's been a while.
Good job.
Like I say, this stuff, I could play this stuff much better if I run through it a time or two, but neglected to do that, so it's always rough.
Well, I'll probably butcher this one because I haven't done this one for quite a while. This was written by another person from the Roots camp, George Ulrich, who's my God, my brain is just dead today. What do you call an eye doctor?
Ophthalmologist.
Yes, and he's a surgeon, and he's in the Springs.
Every once in a while, his partner in crime, Terry, rides past my house
Oh, does he really?
on his bike. Yeah.
Well, Terry hasn't been to camp for a while. You know, he ended up getting divorced from his wife and hooking up with some 20-something, and they have a new baby and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So,
I met her once. They were pushing the brand new baby. So this was 2 years ago, maybe. And she's a doctor, so she's not quite a 20-something, but
oh, okay. She was quite a bit younger than me. Yeah.
they work together. She looks young, but she's what's his deal? He's a surgeon.
He's a brain surgeon, I thought.
Yeah, some cancer related.
Okay.
Surgical oncologist. That's
What's
it.
on the ceiling there? I wonder what's on the ceiling. The cat was looking straight up. Sorry. All right, my cat probably doesn't want to shut up, especially since I'm going to do a song about a dog. I always liked this song. I always thought that this song, it had commercial possibilities. I think somebody could record this song and actually could be a hit. Although you won't necessarily get it from my rendition of it. Oh God, let me just get started all over again here. Maybe I'll take my capo off. I usually don't play it with a capo, so it's a little bit low for me, but it just didn't sound right with that capo. He was always by my side. In my pickup truck we'd ride. Then one day I rolled the truck, but he landed right side up, that darned old dog of mine. Well, I thought that he was gone the night the barn burned down. But he got out, of course, and he even saved the horse, that darned old dog of mine. That darned old dog of mine, he was lucky all the time. And if I could have my say, I'd be lucky the same way, like that darned dog of mine. Going fishing on the ice, yeah, we'd done it once or twice. Well, the ice broke through that day, but he swam and walked away, that darned old dog of mine. That old train was headed west, on the tracks where he liked to rest. But he woke up in time, and his tail still wagging fine, that darned old dog of mine. That darned old dog of mine, he was lucky all the time. And if I could have my say, I'd be lucky the same way, like that darned dog of mine. Going across the Royal Gorge, when that bridge broke loose and tore, raging river down beneath, but he held on by his teeth, that darned old dog of mine. That darned old dog of mine, he was lucky all the time. And if I could have my say, I'd be lucky the same way, like that darned dog of mine. Darned old dog of mine, he was lucky all the time. And when he finally died, I broke down and cried for that darned dog of mine. And if I could have my say, he'd still be here today, that darned old dog of mine. Darned old dog of mine.
Very nice. I remember the first time they came to camp and he played that, and it's like one of those songs you go, "Oh, that's a real song."
Yeah, that's a good song, right? It's well structured, and it's like, and it's humorous, right? Whenever he plays it live there, everybody's always chuckling at the verses and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, humorous and heartfelt, the good combination, right? So,
Right.
well, it looks like we lost Daryl there unexpectedly. He just dropped off, so he just went bang, and he was gone.
Apparently, dog songs are not his deal.
I guess maybe yeah. Yeah, unfortunately. But all right, well, that was fun, guys. Always
Yeah,
good to
thanks.
get together. And I guess we'll see you all next week. And I am going to come up to Fort Collins at some point and get your iPad squared away.
Ah, goodness gracious.
Yeah, so. All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
Thanks. Good
Bye.
night.
Okay.